Hello and welcome to Lone Giraffe Wrestling. I am Harry Anderson, the Lone Giraffe, and this is Rewind, the show where we take a wrestler and look at what they have achieved in their pro wrestling careers so far. In this episode, we shall be exploring the career of the American Nightmare and grandson of a plumber, Cody Rhodes. Cody was born on the 30th of June 1985 in Georgia. Rhodes studied at Lassiter High School where he became successful in high school wrestling, which evolved to him winning the Georgia State Tournament in 2003. It's also well known that Cody Rhodes is the child of wrestling legend and Hall of Famer The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Rhodes' in-ring experience began at a young age, as he even acted as a referee in Dusty's Turnbuckle Championship wrestling promotion while studying at high school. Cody Rhodes has also credited his father as his earliest wrestling trainer, training him from when he was only 12 years old. And from there, he has had quite an impressive list of mentors that include Al Snow, Danny Davis, Ricky Martin, and Randy Orton. In 2006, Cody started wrestling at OVW, and his first match was on May 13th where he lost to Pat Buck. Whilst at OVW, Cody's main highlights involve current AEW star Shawn Spears. Cody and Spears worked together as a tag team in which they became the Southern OVW Tag Team Champions. This later grew into a heated rivalry with former tag partner Shawn Spears that resulted in a cage match. On the 2nd of July 2007, Cody Rhodes made his WWE debut on Raw and stood next to his father when the legend killer Randy Orton smacked the veteran across the face. Since this debut, Cody became involved with storylines such as standing up for his dad against Orton, a rivalry against the world's greatest tag team Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas, a feud with Hardcore Holly that led to the two men becoming tag partners, and numerous title shots before being successful and gaining the World Tag Team Championship on December 10th, defeating Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch. Cody would later turn on his tag partner Hardcore Holly when he decided to team up with the son of the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. This would lead to a stable known as Legacy. Legacy was a faction headed by the legend killer Randy Orton and featured members such as Manu, Sim Snooker, and the tag team duo of Ted DiBiase and Cody Rhodes. This was a group formed behind the idea that each member is a multi-generational wrestler with extensive wrestling history in their blood. Highlights of Cody Rhodes' time as part of Legacy include helping Randy Orton win the 2009 Royal Rumble, as well as going on to help Orton secure the WWE Championship 3 more times despite his abusive on-screen teaching methods, a rivalry with DX, and a feud with the McMahon family. The end of Legacy came when tension between the group was at a boiling point at the 2010 Royal Rumble when Cody Rhodes had Orton disqualified from his match for the WWE Championship. This led to a match between the three men at WrestleMania 26, where Cody and Ted were both beaten by the Viper. After that, Cody Rhodes became drafted into WWE's SmackDown brand and debuted on April 30th, defeating John Morrison. During his time at SmackDown, Cody also mentored a third-generation wrestler, Husky Harris, during the second season of NXT. Cody Rhodes also had a shift in his personality whilst at SmackDown, where he began to demand to be known as Dashing Cody Rhodes, claiming to be the best-looking WWE superstar and was often seen offering grooming tips to the locker room. Whilst being known as Dashing Cody Rhodes, Cody would always be extra protective of his face during a match. The Dashing one later had a match with Rey Mysterio, where a hit to the face with a leg brace broke Cody Rhodes' nose, making him no longer the Dashing one and had to wear a protective mask that would often become used as a weapon in his matches. On an August 12th episode of SmackDown, Cody Rhodes defeated Ezekiel Jackson and became the Intercontinental Champion, making this his first singles belt in the WWE. This led to yet another rivalry with Randy Orton that involved Orton brutally injuring Rhodes with the Timekeeper's bell, resulting in him needing 9 staples to close the wound. After that, Cody Rhodes never again appeared in the mask and claimed Orton had set him free. This then led to the next step for Cody Rhodes. Cody had defended the Intercontinental belt for 233 days before losing the belt to the Big Show at WrestleMania 28. From 2012 to 2013, Rhodes once again chased the tag team titles with Damien Sandow in a tag team known as the Rhodes Scholars. However, this team disbanded when Damien turned on Rhodes in a Money in the Bank match, throwing him off a ladder and winning the match. Cody would later steal the briefcase and throw it into the Gulf of Mexico as payback to his former partner. On September 2nd, 2013, on an episode of Raw, Cody Rhodes lost a match where the stipulation was he would be fired. During his time away from the WWE, Cody actually spent this time off for his marriage and honeymoon with his now wife, Brandi Rhodes. When Cody returned to the WWE, the Stardust persona was born. After teaming up with his brother Goldust for a while, on June 16th, Cody debuted covered in makeup in a full bodysuit similar to his brother, and this character was known as Stardust. Stardust was the most dramatic change in character we had seen from Cody yet, and even considered himself a supervillain and had a rivalry with the star of DC's Arrow show, Stephen Amell. As Stardust, Cody once again claimed the tag titles alongside his brother, fought Daniel Bryan in a ladder match, and challenged John Cena for the United States Championship Open Challenge. However, not entirely satisfied with this character, Cody's time at the WWE came to an end around May 2016 when Cody Rhodes requested his leave after being frustrated with his position in the company and the company's creative decisions. This led Cody Rhodes to the independent circuit. After leaving the WWE, promotions that Cody Rhodes has been part of include Northeast Wrestling, House of Glory, Global Force Wrestling, What Culture Pro Wrestling, Alpha One Wrestling, Bulletproof Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, and Ring of Honor. It was here on the independent scene where Cody Rhodes really began to gain momentum and build a bigger name for himself outside of the shadow of the WWE. Rhodes had accomplished so much during his time through wrestling on the independents by having great matches and rivalries whilst obtaining many championships. Some of these standout moments include a standout rivalry with the self-proclaimed King of Bros Matt Riddle at House of Glory, a feud with Christopher Daniels at Ring of Honor where he won the Ring of Honor Championship, faced off against the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle in multiple matches, wrestled some of the top stars in New Japan including great matches against Okada and Kota Ibushi, and had a rivalry with Kenny Omega, before later forming the Elite with him, the Young Bucks, and Adam Page. It was here during his time with his friends in the Elite that the beginning of what would become AEW was formed. Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks teamed up together to help promote a monumental pay-per-view that was focused around being the big event for all independent wrestlers. This event was known as All In, and was a landmark in professional wrestling for being the first non-WWE or WCW promoted wrestling event to sell over 10,000 tickets in the United States since 1993. But as well as being a vital part for setting up the monumental pay-per-view, Cody Rhodes also competed and successfully won the NWA Championship against Nick Aldis. After All In, the ball was set in motion as the likes of Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho and Tony Khan all came together and created what is now known as All Elite Wrestling. Cody Rhodes, alongside other members of the Elite, is named as an EVP of the company, but as well as having a large backstage role, Cody has had some of his largest matches and rivalries of his career in the promotion. These range from a bloody and dramatic battle with his brother Dustin, a violent feud that resulted in a dangerous chair shot from the head with his former tag partner Shawn Spears, an epic rivalry with Chris Jericho that culminated in a championship match that Cody lost, meaning he would never challenge for the belt again, faced off against his best friend MJF, leaped off the top of a steel cage, became the first ever TNT champion, and had an amazing battle with Brody Lee, which tragically was also Brody Lee's last match before his tragic passing. And recently, Cody fought against a celebrity and NBA star, Shaq. And currently, Cody Rhodes is fighting back against half of the Nightmare Factory, which is built up of up-and-coming wrestlers that he has helped to train. So far, Cody has had a long and impressive list of accomplishments, and only continues to grow in popularity as a star and EVP of AEW. With a child on the way and his stardom growing fast in the ring as well as outside of the ring, with him being part of reality shows such as the Go Big Show and soon-to-air reality show based on the life of him and Brandy, there's no telling what's on the cards next for Cody Rhodes. But at this point, it's safe to say the future is looking bright. This has been Lone Giraffe Wrestling's Rewind. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, have a nice day.